Yeah. So, did Homo erectus make it to the Americas while carrying and utilizing something like this, the Acheulean hand axe? No. No, he didn't. But wait, why do we find Acheulean-styled hand axes in places like Texas? Maybe it was Neanderthals that eventually made their way to the Americas carrying the Acheulean hand axe and settling in here and then being wiped out by a global massive flood. Nope, it's all pseudoscience. I got venison in my teeth. Simply put, those aren't Acheulean hand axes. Those are called curville knives or butted knives. Still got venison in there. Homo erectus, Homo Heidelbergensis built the Acheulean-styled hand axe, developing that Acheulean stone tool industry about 1.6 million years ago. About 130,000 years ago, Neanderthals also used the Acheulean hand axe. It was a popular tool. It made sense. It was great for chopping, slicing, smashing, you name it. It was a true multi-tool. Neanderthals, Homo heidelbergensis, and Homo erectus did not bring the Acheulean hand axe to the Americas. When people find a style of hand axe like this that resembles an Acheulean, what it actually is this. A curville knife. Very similar in design, but these are typically found in Texas, specifically a place called the Edwards Plateau or Kerrville, Texas. Acheulean hand axes were typically made with hard hammer percussion using a hammer stone. Kerrville knife, or butted hand blade, was made with hard hammer percussion, soft billets, as well as pressure flaking. The evidence is actually on the blade. You can see the pressure flaking that has taken place on the blade. More importantly, when we carbon date these tools, when they're found in archaeological sites, these were used heavily for processing of plants, specifically in the Southwest like agave, sodal, and yucca. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Neanderthals did not bring the Acheulean hand axe to the Americas. Kerrville knife has been in existence for about 3,000 to 4,000 years, specifically with the people and cultures that existed in Texas along that Edwards Plateau. Don't fall prey to pseudoscience. Use your brain. So let's make a Kerrville knife. damn broken piece from the beginning is driving me up the wall. Wish I could just take this chunk out. Son of a gun. This was one unruly piece of stone. Good. 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 All I want to do is just try and knock this chunk off. However, it actually works in the blade's design, because on a Kerrville knife, it's definitely more bulbous on the end, something to hold on to. And to be honest with you, it works well for the tool. I'll just throw in some final flakes and try not to knock this off. That's all I want to do, is try and get this chunk off. But if you look at it in profile, you definitely want a bulbous end to smash with, and something to really hold on to and cut. It's not the prettiest son of a gun, but it will work. Part of the deal with napping, and I stress this to everyone, is functional tools are the most important thing. Functional tools. It can eventually look pretty, but get the function down. It's got Cortex on it, a couple ridges, a couple steps. It's not going to make a difference. This stuff is gnarly. It's alright though. Make it work. Building tools, not trophies. That's an issue, but now, despite working the worst piece of Edwards Plateau, Pedernales chert, root beer chert, anything from Texas, I don't think it turned out half bad. The one problem I ran into was, if you remember the starting of the video, this stone just had this gnarly hinge and break on it, and as I moved up the stone, I tried to remove it, couldn't get it. What you really can do is grind down some of those sharp edges, but they're not really that sharp. And as far as a Kerrville knife, the top being the Cortex, that bulbous end with the ability to cut plant materials, which is probably the primary focus for it. Yeah, I think it works out. Could you absolutely skin some game with this? Yeah, I mean, who's to say that the knife was just used for one specific task? Like anything, the goal is to ultimately build the tool. Sometimes the aesthetics aren't the best based on the material. Good little Kerrville knife. It's definitely different than some of those early world, first world, Acheulean styled hand axes, where a lot of them have been made with just a hammerstone. The one thing that kind of separates the two apart is, yes, it is that hand axe, that butted axe, that Kerrville knife, whatever you want to call it, but pressure flaking was found on a lot of the Kerrville knives. So it was probably started off one size, and through use and through wear, pressure flaking was applied to it, ultimately resharpening it for an easy, quick little hand blade. It would definitely get the job done. When we compare it to my Acheulean hand axe, Acheulean hand axe is definitely bigger. This is one that's actually been used. I use this on a bison, and it comes to a point. Now if you look at this one, you can kind of see a fluting there, and there's a fluting here from just raking it into the bison. But it's kind of a sawing motion. Some of the edge has taken some damage. But with a quick hammerstone, kind of popping some of these edges off, you can get the Acheulean back in action. Compared to the Kerrville, which is a much rounded tip, probably allow people to kind of dig it in the ground without breaking the tips off. So if you started off round, it's kind of more of like a spade, a digging tool, along with that cutting edge. Very similar to the Acheulean, definitely a little bit smaller, rounded tip. Pressure flaking once it dulls out, but a very applicable tool that has been used for quite some time. When you compare the two together, this one has not been readdressed as far as its edge. You can kind of see they do resemble one another as far as a thinner blade, bulbous end. It's the perfect little hand tool for cutting plant fibers, processing game, stone tools. Keep it simple, keep it effective. All right, that is it for the Kerrville knife and the ornery piece of stone that was not cooperating, but it's about the tool, it's not about the trophy. All right, Kerrville knife. Appreciate you watching.